What's up, guys? Just wanted to do an intuitive message. I just got done doing Gemini's reading over on Patreon. So feel free to subscribe to Tier 1 or Tier 2. I did a timeless angel spirit messages love, finance, and career reading for Gemini, and I just really got this sense of like union with self. I once heard that Gemini is constantly chasing the other half of themselves, constantly in search of the other half of themselves. And it's almost as if when you find stillness is when you're able to find that proverbial other half of yourself. There are moments in time where you need to work, which is all just a state of mind, because you could be doing something and it could just be completely nothing in a good way. You could just be completely lost in it. But you know, what these readings are kind of teaching me right now as I move through them slowly but surely. You know, I did Aries and I did Taurus and I did Gemini, and they're longer readings. Probably around 10 minutes plus. And I'm doing this full time now, so I'm really trying to churn out content and really try to go. But at the end of the day, you find yourself, in this state that you necessarily didn't, sign up for. So I think the lesson here, in so much as we can be it in our state, is to be mindful. It's not enough to be mindful, but you must be self-aware, and you must be aware of the states that you are in. I think what happens is that sometimes we fall into a state of lack, and this is very easy to do when you're constantly trying to churn out product, and you forget to look at how you're doing things and not what it is that you're doing. So it's always good to be mindful of this. This is definitely what I define as spirituality. Spirituality has to do with space and time, believe it or not. As much as we like to think that it's outside of space and time, in so much that theoretically all things have already occurred or occurring at once. Endless possibilities. And so the only tuning fork or station dial that we're left with is our state of being. Now, it's all just practice, right? Like, I could be this right now, but if I really want to go nowhere in life, and I don't mean that as a pejorative that it sounds like, if I really want to go nowhere and be unfettered, I mean, to even want this is probably, in itself, not practicing it. But I definitely understand, what your Eckhart Tolles and your Mujis are talking about in regards to just being present. It's like, taking a dip in and out of the pool. Presences, because you don't necessarily always live there. I mean, we do live in modern times, all times are modern, I guess, if you inhabit them. And so, yeah, there might be, trends or conditions or habits that you fall into. But to be mindful and to be present, I don't think is a mutual exclusive thing from say jumping on your bed and watching a podcast, or television, or eating, or drinking, or having sex, or sleeping. I think it does have a lot to do with desire and thinking about the future, and really being mindful as to why at certain times we do turn on certain states, which is reasonable and practical. For instance, if you're performing, I'm thinking of like Will Ferrell, turning it on and performing. That's just one small example, but I totally get that. But the reason we tend to turn on and turn off is because I think of harboring. And harboring comes from identity and sense of self and what pushes our buttons. But I think the more we take time out to realize that we don't necessarily have to carry all of these things with us on our journey in and through life, then that's definitely something to try to incorporate, I think. Maybe it just allows for more, maybe it allows for more growth, more being real and being present or alive or something like that. I think of Starseed 1111, I think her name is. Love listening to her videos, and she's talking about, that life is meant to be enjoyed and you're meant to be happy. Which, I don't know, neither here nor there, but it can be. I find that, if you're always trying to chase being happy, then that just becomes another thing that you're doing. So, yeah. I just got the World card here from the Angel Tarot by Travis McHenry. And that does talk about a completion of a cycle, wisdom, success in all ventures. Dhammabiya, the angel, God, the source of wisdom. It seems to be a great lesson to learn, And maybe something will apply when, I'm scrolling through, OkCupid or Hinge or Tinder or Bumble or and or looking at my stocks and thinking about posting videos and I didn't exercise and I feel like crap, or how's the next rent gonna come, all these things. So I think the real work is reprogramming and rewiring things that you probably should give negative anxieties and reactions to, and challenging yourself to be open and present and at peace and at zen with everything, as foreign or titillating as that sounds, or triggering or nerve-wracking, or you can feel the pins and needles sometimes. Some people, when they butt up against these concepts that they hold so sacred and dear, such as making a living and financing yourself, your overhead. In any regards, very interesting things to contemplate and think about in regards to lifestyle and where you see yourself, and being happy, whole, and complete doing so. I see a homeless man over on Wilshire. I'm in LA myself, and you kind of see somebody's state of being. You see people's states of being, and I can imagine, some homeless people, they're super, their state might be equated to that of someone more aligned with, Eastern Zen, chill, Buddhism, and things like that. We give value to these states. Why do we intrinsically give value to these states? One might pertain to longevity and health and happiness and wholeness and living a good life. Whereas another state, whether you're homeless or middle class or, well-to-do, free financially, what have you, in regards to any topic or matter, doesn't have to be financially, but states of being, simply put, end up becoming your life. And I think one of the main trappings is putting off our wholeness and our content and our satisfaction and our happiness. So yeah, I just found that very interesting going through these readings, especially, like I said, these were timeless readings that I'm working on right now. I just got through Aries, Taurus, and Gemini, and I'm about to start the last 3 quarters of the Zodiac signs. Those readings in particular will be on Patreon for 2nd and 3rd tier members, so I really do encourage you to go to that Patreon. It's called Run and Gun Tarot. 2nd and 3rd tier. 2nd tier is only $10 a month. That's less than what we pay for cups of coffee at Starbucks or wherever we go. Same thing for the 3rd tier. Each tier offers something different. Goodies, messages, and insights for, I think, the right timings in your life. Whether they be little reminders such as, this video right here, or just something personally tailored for you that you could check in with to see if, you're on that path of love and light and growth and maturity and all that good stuff. I think it's always good to be mindful in this regard, in these regards. I do also offer a 1st tier, which is $5 a month. You get exclusive access to all the magic bullet readings that I post. Which are always intended to jolt and trigger and change the trajectory in a good way for you at that time of viewing. The 2nd tier includes all of the 1st tier content access and a weekly reading for sign specific, and monthly as well. normally the timeless angel spirit love, finance, and career readings will be posted there, which I really like doing. This is the first series that I'm doing of these types of readings, and it's really putting me in like a Zen state. So I'm really digging it. I think it's a timeless aspect. As in, like, our work becomes our life, and our life becomes our work to an extent, in that they are both informed by our states of being and become our lifestyles. So it's good to be mindful of this. The third tier offers an what I'm calling an astro reading, which uses the houses of the zodiac, the 12-house chart, natal chart, which if you Google, you'll find that each in any given sector involves a specific aspect of your life, a specific facet of your life, which I want to and will be pulling tarot cards for, probably on the monthly for each sign, okay, specifically to each sign. My intention is to pique your curiosity with those readings so that maybe you can request a one-on-one reading for you, personalized, tailored, pre-recorded, or live reading, astro reading, 12-house sector reading for you, so we can hit those 12 points of your life where we probably, I know I do, only really do think in broader general terms such as finance, love, career, things like that. But I do think that these astro reads could be a helpful and useful tool to utilize. So I do encourage that third tier subscription. Again, you basically just get access to the whole catalog of exclusive Patreon content, including music that I may create and post, poetry as well, things of that nature. I'm looking to create a website and eventually some merchandise. All in the name of, light, love, spirituality, and all that goodness. So, yeah, that being said, really looking forward to... I just reduced all the Patreon prices for all the tiers. I had the mindset of, I want this to be affordable and something worth, subscribing to monthly. So I thought, the prices that they were previously were probably a little bit out of range of, in the practical sense. So I did reduce it to, this kind of cup of coffee type price, which is, your $5 a month, $10, and then $15, which is great. It works out beautifully. So the more, subscribers I get, all that stuff. So, yeah. It just works out that way. It just seems to be a smarter business model, for full transparency. So, yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, I was going to say, on the third tier, that does allow you for one-on-one reading access, availability, priority. You get, I believe it's a 10-minute priority on-demand reading with me once a month when you subscribe to the third tier. That's essentially a $15, or if I'm using my standard reading rate, that's essentially a $22 value right off the bat for a monthly subscription that's only $15 a month, and then including, you get your signs astro read, you get all the first and second tier content. So just really trying to make this really worth your while and affordable, so it could be mutually beneficial for both of us. I wouldn't be doing this if I, one, didn't believe in it, and two, didn't have that natural God-given gift and ability that I always preach about, which is just being able to talk, gift of gab. I don't necessarily fancy myself a straight-up psychic. There are people with those, potencies and powers. I do believe that I am an empath and intuitive. So I really like to get into the flow, into the mix when I do my readings, as you'll probably see my style the more and more I put out videos. So yeah, at the end of the day, all I can do is work on myself to try to be a conduit, a channel, for what you need to hear, then and there, at the time of the readings, whether it's, general YouTube, a Patreon, or a one-on-one reading. So I'm just here as a resource and a tool for you. I do want to build and would like to, and looking forward to building the community aspect of it, okay, across all social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Again, all my platform information and links are on my YouTube videos. You should see them below, as well as all my contact information. So yeah, this is Run and Gun Tarot. And yeah, happy and excited about it. So you're invited on the journey, and love and light to you all. Peace.